Today we have yet another Amazon light bar. This light bar is kind of a standard style light bar as for the actual reflector and element style, but it does have somewhat of a unique feature with these other LEDs around the corners. Again, this is another inexpensive light bar from Amazon. The company is DiGo or DiGo. I'm not quite sure how they pronounce that. It's also sold under Nicoko or or something like that. It's another one of those, off brands. And by off-brand, I don't mean bad, but I also don't mean good because I haven't done anything with this light yet, so I don't know if it's good or bad. This one is an RGB light bar, but unlike most of them being RGB inside the regular LEDs, this has a halo and a remote control to control the halo that goes around it. This one actually came with a fairly substantial harness. The control module is actually built into the light, so that's, I guess that's a plus. You don't have the extra big bulky box anywhere that you have to mount. As you can see, it's a pretty standard light bar, like I said, on the inside as of, like the reflectors and stuff like that. But it does have this halo style strip of LEDs all the way around the inside. It honestly looks like these are kind of an after the fact item, like they decided to put these in later on, or just to take another just regular old light bar and add these to it because it does block part of the reflectors. You can see what I mean. It's kind of like just those LED strips that you can buy. And it looks like they just put that around the inside of the lens here. And like I said, it does block parts of the reflector. So I'm wondering if they just decided to add this on. The reflector is slightly different, I guess. If you see these little pieces of plastic that come over and then cover the LED chip itself. I imagine there's a lot of other light bars that do this, but I haven't seen it on a whole lot of light bars. I'm not sure if it's just to help disperse the light or what. This is the remote control that comes with it. It has all your different colors and functions and stuff like that. You turn the light bar itself on and off with this, and you turn on the strip on and off with this. That's kind of cool, but I would also like the ability to turn it on manually. If you lose this remote, if you don't have your phone, you don't always want to have to use a remote or your phone to turn your light on. So I'm going to hook this up to our test battery, and we'll go through some of the functions and show you the colors and everything, and then we'll do a little bit of testing, see get an estimate of what the wattage is. This is rated at 300 watts. As we've seen before, most of these lights are highly overrated. I did find out that you can somewhat wire this to a switch to run it, like to turn it on and off. The light bar itself doesn't come with any instructions, and honestly, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going through and trying to figure out every little detail of this. You can see here, I take the remote, and I can turn the light on with the remote. As for the light bar itself, nothing too impressive. It's not all that bright. I mean, I'm sitting here kind of looking almost directly at it, so it's not really, really bright, but it'll get the job done, I guess. Like I said in the other videos, any bar of this size is gonna put out a decent amount of light, but this really isn't all that bright actually. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is try some of the features of the light. So as you can see, I mean, there are tons of different patterns and stuff. You can also do solid colors. You can go in and with the phone app, you can make different patterns and stuff. Like you can make custom patterns and everything. But I'm just using the remote, as you can see here. You can speed up. Oh, that's the mode. But you can slow it down or speed it up. All that different stuff. Me personally, I'm not into this kind of light bar. I'm not into the whole color changing thing, but if this is something that you like, this is different. It's kind of interesting. But it does kind of look like the manufacturer just took, you know, a regular old unbranded light bar, because there's no branding on the light bar itself. And it looks like they added these LED strips and put like some type of controller inside of the light bar. Okay, we're hooked up to our test battery. We have our voltage and our amps. We're gonna kind of get an estimate for how many watts this is. Again, this isn't completely scientific. This is just to get us a ballpark. Again, they are claiming that this is 300 watts, and we're just gonna see what we can get out of it. $17.5 at 11.62. 17.6 at 11.62. So let's see what that is. Okay, so it looks like we're looking at 204 watts. I guess we could try and see if the little halos really pull any power. Surprisingly, they do. That's pulling 2.7, 2.6. Let's see if this levels off here. 2.7 at 12.12. So that's basically 33 watts in the halo itself. So I guess if you were to give this its best chance, and if you were to add the light bar and the RGB lights together, it might actually be close to 300. So I guess we'll take this bar out to our testing area and maybe get some lux measurements and see how bright it is. Okay, so here we are out in the big empty parking lot like usual. I'm gonna see if the remote will work this far. I haven't actually even tested it yet. If you remember, I said it works off of a remote, so I'm gonna see if the remote will work, and it doesn't appear that it'll work from this far. So let's keep walking up until we can get it to come on. That's not good. I have to be that close. I don't even know if I'm still on camera. I'm 12 feet away from it, if that, and that's how close I have to be to get it to work. So that is definitely a downfall of the light. So what I'm gonna do is go back out here and get some readings. Wow, that's not very impressive at all. I'm trying to move it around and give it its best shot. Let me walk up closer and see if we can even get this thing to hit 100 lux. I mean, I can actually look right at it. There we go. Now we're in the hundreds. I knew that this light wasn't very bright because I mean, I can look straight at it like I am right now. And of course, you know, you'll see spots and stuff, but it's nothing like looking at another light bar. So I think they spent a lot of their resources on the colored LED portion of it, just because, I mean, it's, as you can see, it's not very bright. I don't know how it looks on camera, like I always say, because, you know, it always looks different on camera than it does in person. It goes to show a little bit with the efficiency of the LEDs and the reflectors themselves do make a big difference on the light bar. So it is kind of a big deal that this thing is not impressive at all. But let me set this meter down and we'll try some of the colors. So as you can see, the actual LEDs that go around the sides of it, do put out quite a bit of light. I'm surprised they put out that much. Okay, so here is the light bar with the halo. I'm gonna see if I can get it to switch through the modes. Of course I can't from this distance, so I'm gonna have to walk up here. That is a huge downfall, that you have to control it with this remote and you have to be really close to it. It's interesting, it is kind of cool. It's not something that I would buy or put on any vehicle of mine, just because I'm not really into all of the colored stuff like this. But you know, if this is something that you're going for, like if you have a bunch of different RGB lights on your vehicle, the light bar itself has a bunch of different strobes. So yeah, I think that's about enough of that. If you're looking for something that's a little different, that has, you know, a halo RGB effect, this is kind of cool. You have really limited range with the remote. It could be possible that you might be able to switch out the battery in this for, you know, like a really decent name brand battery, and you might be able to get a little bit more power out of it. I don't know. It's not something I would personally buy. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you can see how much it is, because honestly I do not know how much it is, because I think I forgot to mention they sent this to me. I did not buy this. We've got some geese flying overhead here. So I didn't buy this, they sent it to me, but if I remember right, I think they want like $300 or something for this. And again, if this is the look you're going for, go for it. If you actually want a light bar that has a cool look, like with the RGB, but also is a bright light bar, this is not the light bar to get, because as you saw, it's not very bright at all. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this video, make sure to go into my channel, check out a couple other videos. If you find a video that you like, hit the like button. If you have something to say, leave it down in the comments. And if you find a couple videos that you like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.